Welcome to this week's edition of the Q1 Buck Poll. I'm Tim Hart-Haberl. He's Mike Big Buck Hoffner. On today, we continue at some of our locations around the state. Ray C's Extreme, along with the Country Smokehouse. We had a lot of people have success, and we had the camera out there and said, hey, what's your story?
Well, the story is the hunting season is just about ready to close.
It is. You've got a few more days to get your deer registered in the Q1 Buck Poll. We also have Russ Mason talking about the HAP program, which is the Hunter Access Program with the DNR. And we'll have Tony LaPratte talking about shed hunting because that's just around the corner. All that and bucks with Big Buck Hoffner on the Q1 Buck Poll.
Country Smokehouse was started years ago by myself and Suzanne, and we want to specialize in homemade old-fashioned sausage and jerkies and things like that. People say it's a destination. They come out for the barbecue, they come out for the homemade sausages. A lot of organic people, natural people want to buy the product because they can't find it in the local stores. We are the largest processor in the state of Michigan. We invite all hunters to come in, bring your deer in, or just stop in and check us out so you can see yourself.
I recommend you come to the Country Smokehouse because you'll never be disappointed.
Trophy Class Real Estate specializes in listing and selling unique recreational, hunting land, and vacant land properties.
Hi, I'm Dan Hoffman. We're the premier real estate brokerage firm for Cabela's Trophy Properties in Michigan. If you're looking to buy, we have great properties like this one.
Here's 24 acres of vacant land and waterfront in Calhoun County. The property includes your very own 7-acre buildable island. There's great whitetail deer hunting and fishing. Own a one-of-a-kind piece of property.
Call us today or go online to see all of our properties.
When a hunter graduates from my new Super Whitetail Boot Camp, he will be in the top 1% of the deer hunters in the country. There's hundreds of little things people need to know to really have the ultimate property. I come in and show people how to put all the right pieces of the puzzle in that property. To hold deer, get more born on the property, make them come by the stands, keep them from the neighbors during daylight hours. I'm Tony LaPratte from Ultimate Land Management, and I'm inviting you to our new Super Whitetail Boot Camp.
Hunters, register today in the Q1 Buck Poll, and you'll have a chance to win this Yamaha Grizzly 350 ATV. You can register a buck or a doe, no matter what size. We'll give this away in a random draw at our final prize party of the Q1 Buck Poll coming up the first weekend in March. Jim Hull is with us from Custom Connection Motorsports in Battle Creek. Welcome to the Buck Poll, man.
Thanks for having us, Tim.
All right, tell me about the ATV.
As he said, this is an awesome Yamaha Grizzly 350. You've got your Realtree camo, you've got selectable four-wheel drive, you've got forward and reverse, you've got racks on the front and back. So if you're out in terrain like this and you get the deer of a lifetime, you're not going to have to worry about carrying it on your shoulder.
You slap it on the back, tie it up, and you're ready to go.
Exactly.
All right, well, again, we're giving this away in a random draw. All you have to do is register. Again, you could go online, or you could take your deer to any of the locations across the state. Get registered today in the Q1 Buck Poll to win the Yamaha Grizzly 350 ATV from Custom Connection Motorsports. Interviews from around the state coming up here on the Q1 Buck Poll. Again, you've got until December 31st, so a few more days to get your deer registered at any of our locations around the state, or go online, download the form. Even if you shot it way back in October, now you got the rack, you just need the rack to get registered.
Hey, just a little teasing. Just register. You're eligible to win these types of things. Great muzzleloader from CVA.
Now let's feature some bucks that are registered in the Q1 Buck Poll.
All right, Tim, let's start out with Corey Sabo in Southwest Michigan with an 11-pointer. The score, 47.375. Hussein Kassem up in Southwest Michigan's 13-pointer, scoring 46.825. Also in South Central Michigan, Jim Pearson, 14-pointer with a nice score of 48.
All right, you can see all these bucks online at q1buckpoll.com. We've had successful hunters from around the state. I had the camera going. Here's their stories.
John Jerkovich from Rochester Hills.
All right, John, tell me about your hunt.
So I was out this morning. This is a buck that I'd been seeing all through bow season, never gave me a shot. And came out this morning about 65 yards, was pushing some does around. Finally got a good clean shot on him and just let it loose with my muzzle loader and down he went.
All right.
It's about,
Go ahead.
it was about 7:30 too.
Okay. So kind of a quick early morning hunt then, right?
Yeah, no, I was in and out. Yeah, didn't even have time to get cold.
Did you see a lot of deer that?
Probably 10 does, and he was in pushing them around.
Lucky man, huh?
Yeah. Good for him. Last time he'll do that.
Jerry Pelletier is with us now. He's from Bay City and twice the luck this year, right?
That's right.
All right. Now here's a man who spends a lot of time in the woods. Give me the quick story on these deer.
Well, I had been doing some preseason scouting, and I realized that about every 7 or 8 days, an 8-pointer bigger would cross my path. Mm-hmm. I sat there in anticipation, as you can imagine, and on October 7th, what had been quite a slow season compared to years in the past, I had quite a collection of does and fawns and on an antler in the mix as the day was progressing. Mm-hmm. Just before evening, I spots a couple of nice bucks out in the oats, and as I'm looking at them, there turned out to be 4 bucks, and 2 bucks were in my food plot. And I shot this awesome 8-point on October 7th, and couldn't believe what had happened. Went back 4 days later, and was still very excited about what had happened. Woke up in my blind on a Saturday morning to do a morning hunt. Mm-hmm. I blew a grunt call and in come a 6, in come an 8, and as I'm filming, just enjoying the moment, not far behind was this awesome buck here.
Nice.
Got him on film, drew on him at 40 yards and looked at the first 2 deer, and they had come into another food plot at 35 yards and chose to wait and take a better shot, and gosh dang it, it paid off.
Yeah, it does.
It
well,
did.
you know, sometimes patience is the key when you're out there hunting, and so often people want to just get out there, get the shot, and get out.
Well, as I realized what happened, the first 2 deer a lot of folks would have been flinging arrows at, and they seldom see that 3rd deer, second deer, or the bigger buck. So it was quite a learning experience. Yes, it was.
Well, congratulations. 2 nice bucks here in the season. So you're all set, ready to go, buddy. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, Jerry Pelletier from Bay City. Twice the luck this year on the Q1 buck pool. So, Jerry, you told me that you, how long did you spend in your blind?
I started sitting on March 23rd and 24th. I snowshoed into the property. I wanted to just wake up in my blind on Monday morning and not at work. It was 6 degrees outside and 61 degrees in my blind on that morning. And I had started filming Mother Nature week by week, month by month. I sat 6.5 months before October 1st. I felt like I was already a winner.
So what did your wife say? You're 6 months in your deer blind and not at home.
I must tell you, my passion for the outdoors weighs a little bit on my relationship. But when it was said and done, she says, Jerry, your patience and persistence amaze me.
Anything else? Anything other little quips or quotes with hunting or the story or anything like that?
While I had been filming, I had filmed several oddities in Mother Nature. A fawn that had a near-death experience. It was shredded up, and I watched it day by day heal. A buck that had a hole through the bridge of his nose and survived it. It's amazing sitting there and enjoying Mother Nature, what you're able to capture.
So, and just a different question. Did people think it was odd that you were going to your deer blind day after day, night after night?
Yes, they sure did. On the 4th of July, I sat there listening to jet skis and boats on Lake Huron because I'm a half a block off the lake. On the 4th of July, I sat there at 10 o'clock at night from my blind filming the fireworks up over the lake. It's amazing. I didn't miss much, but yes, they did think I was weird until now they're, well, Jerry, you're really lucky.
Congratulations to all the hunters that have had success. Again, a few more days. Get out there. When we come back, we're going to talk about the HAP program with the DNR's Chief of the Wildlife Division, Russ Mason, right here on the Q1 Buck Bowl. Stay with us.
At Outfitters Taxidermy, I do high quality work at reasonable prices. We do it all at Outfitters Taxidermy, from birds, small mammals, fish, deer, shoulder mounts, full body mounts. I pay attention to the details in the mount, like your eyes, the nose, and the way the horns are set. Make sure the measurement's all correct, just like it is when you brought it in. If you're not sure how to cape your deer, I can do it for you, show you how to do it, where to make cuts, where not to make cuts. When you shoot that buck of a lifetime, give me a call at Outfitters Taxidermy.
Hunting, fishing, trapping, Frank's Sporting Goods in Morley.
We got the biggest selection of trapping supplies in West Michigan and the experience to go along with it, so we can teach you how to do everything right here on the spot.
Long guns and handguns for any application, and expert service from someone who lives the outdoors.
Don't forget, we got a great selection of ammo.
You'll find it all at Frank's Sporting Goods in Morley. Stop in or call Frank's Sporting Goods in Morley for the best deals around.
Hi, my name is Vic Havens, and we invite you to stop here at Frank's Sporting Goods in Morley, Michigan.
Get your boots on at Backroad Saloon, the area's #1 country music entertainment, featuring a spacious 5,000 square foot dance floor catered to line dancing. Backroad Saloon, where there's live music on the weekends and special guests. Coming January 16th, it's Big Smo. Tickets are just $12 in advance. And don't forget our New Year's Eve bash. Get your tickets now. Backroad Saloon, the Nashville of the North, the area's #1 country music venue. You know, each week, Mike, we have the DNR with us, and very educational segments. Today, we've got the Chief of the Wildlife Division, Russ Mason, talking about the HAP program, the Hunter Access Program. They've made all kinds of changes to it, and it's really a way that you can help others get out there and do some hunting if they don't have land.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, it's getting tougher and tougher to get on private property, so it's a great program and a great opportunity for our hunters.
Okay, we've got bucks now with Big Buck Hoffner.
All right, Tim, let's start out with Mike Long in South Central Michigan with a 13-pointer, nice score, 55 1/4. Chris Ostrander in Southwest Michigan with an 11-pointer, the score is 48. Southwest Mid-Michigan, Gerald Bailey's 13-pointer scores 47 3/4.
Okay, it's time now for our DNR update. It's time now for our DNR update. Today, we've got the Chief of the Wildlife Division, Russ Mason. Welcome to the Buck Poll.
Hello, sir. It's good to be here.
All right. Well, today we're going to talk about the HAP program, also known as the Hunter Access Program. And for people that don't know what that's about, tell me about it.
Well, here's what it's about mostly. We've got a lot of state land up in the UP and up in the northern lower, but we do not have as much land as we'd like here in the southern lower peninsula. And so we have this Hunter Access Program. Private landowners enroll with us, and then hunters or trappers can go out onto these properties and enjoy themselves. And many times the hunting is really good on these private properties. What's exciting about it is that over the last couple of years, we've expanded this program significantly. You know, over the last 10 years before the expansion, what had happened was we weren't paying very much. And so landowners were getting out of the program because you and I could go to the guy and say, tell you what, I'll pay you what the state is paying, but you just got to deal with you and me and not anybody else. Well, it turns out we've got a whole different way of looking at it. All of this information is on our website, and it's also in the My Hunt application on the website. I encourage people to take a look at that. But they're great opportunities. Right now, we just got a grant that only 7 states in the nation have to expand our program even further, and not only that, but to do a little work on these properties. So it's not just what was there in the first place. Part of the match now is if you do more for wildlife on your property and create even better hunting opportunities, well, maybe we'll give you a little bit more money. So there's that incentive as well. I'm pretty excited about it.
Now, does the DNR go to somebody's property? If I say, hey, I'd like to participate, I'd like to offer my land, do you guys go and walk the land at all? Or
you bet we do. I'm from Nevada. There's a whole lot of HAP property out there, and you walk out and you think, if there's anything living here, it must have packed a lunch. It's not necessarily the case to do that. We do that here, and furthermore, if guys don't sort of live up to their contract, they're out of the program, and we can move on to somebody next year. We have more people wanting to be in the program now than we have funds for. So all of these properties are high quality places. Folks should look at it too, because we allow the landowner to say, well, you know, these are just for youth hunts, or these are just for small game, or small game and deer, whatever. There are different price structures for each one of these things. So people need to look. You could find a great opportunity if you just wanted to take your kids squirrel hunt and not have anybody hanging out of a tree trying to kill a deer or doing something else. It's a wonderful opportunity.
Now, do I, as a hunter, pay money then to go onto that land?
Nope, you just show up. There's a mailbox there. You pull out, there's a map in this mailbox at the parking area. You can look at it. You can see what the boundaries are, what the rules, if any, that the landowners put on this are, and away you go. It's free to the public. It's a service to folks because we want as much opportunity as we can possibly provide for hunters in the state of Michigan.
Well, it seems like there's less and less opportunity, so as you add more opportunity, that's great because, you know, people, there's a lot of people that go to state land. But it just seems like in Michigan, there's just not a lot of access. And so this is a program that's going to help that.
This helps a lot of places in southern Michigan. There are counties, as you point out, without a square inch. Genesee County, not 1 square inch of state land in that county. But here's an opportunity to put land there so guys can get out convenient to their homes and have a wonderful hunting experience.
All right, so somebody goes out on this land. Do they then have to report back and say, okay, I took a buck or I took a doe or whatever the case may be?
The usual reporting requirements. You know, if they get sampled, we encourage people to bring their deer into us, to our
no
check
matter
station.
when. No matter when.
We'll give them a patch and we'll age their deer and do all of those sorts of things. Those bits of information are very important to us as we try to understand what deer are doing around the state. Sometimes they're also reporting requirements. You might want to sign in. You're going to have to sign in at these properties. But other than that, what we want is people to go out there, treat these places with respect, and have a really good time.
All right, there you go. It's the HAP program. And again, they could go online to learn more about that, whether I'm a landowner or I'm a hunter, right?
They can, and if they go on this My Hunt application, that's real cool. Besides which, we now have it on your smartphone.
There you go.
So you can look up all of these places, you can see where they are, you can see how to get there, you can see where restaurants are, and it's not just these HAP properties, but every piece of state land in Michigan is in this program. So you know exactly what you're doing. There's cover on, cover off, so if you're, say, grouse hunting up north, you can look for exactly the right cover type to wander in on. It's a wonderful program. I encourage people to use it. Even knuckle draggers like me can figure it out. That's an important feature. And if you're really teched up, by golly, you can put the GPS function on your phone there so you can actually follow yourself walking around the property as well. Great opportunity.
Thanks for being with us,
You
Russ.
bet. Thank you.
Right. Chief of the Wildlife Division, Russ Mason's with us here today. You are watching the Q1 Buck Poll.
Everything for the sportsman.
DNR Sports Center.
For the hunter. Tree stands, bows, guns, and gear. All the top brands.
Right here at DNR Sports Center.
For the fisherman. Check out the huge selection of boats, marine supplies, and tackle.
DNR Sports Center.
Full service mechanic for boats, guns, and bows. One-stop shopping, a huge selection, and the best service around.
Come see for yourself and experience the personal service at DNR Sports Center. Everything for the sportsman.
Great country for Kalamazoo. Find us on your radio at 102.5, online at greatcountry1025.com, and on your mobile device on iHeartRadio. Kalamazoo's Great Country 1025, powered by Nash.
The great outdoors has a lot to offer, and if you're ready to experience it on the next level, Greenstone can help you get it done. We finance acreage of nearly any size, from a hunter's haven to adventurous trails, or even that relaxing place on the lake. Greenstone's loan options make owning land affordable, with terms up to 30 years. And with 36 locations in Michigan and Northeast Wisconsin, we're just a short drive away. To learn more, visit greenstonefcs.com. Greenstone Farm Credit Services. We finance the great outdoors.
Well, we know there's a few more days left to be out there in the woods. But today we've got Tony LaPratte talking about shed hunting, why you should do it, and it really centers around, are you keeping the deer on your property? And of course, the deer are going to start shedding their antlers, January, February, March, April, that sort of time. But really, he's got some great information about what you should look for.
Yeah, and I never thought about it before, but it's an awful lot of fun to get some of your buddies together and go out looking. You find some pretty interesting racks.
All right, we got racks right now with Big Buck Hoffner.
All right, let's start out with James Heineman from South Central Michigan. 12-pointer, the score 48 1/4. Ken Hendershot out in Southwest Michigan, 11-pointer, the score 45 1/4. And Dale Seehey in Southwest Michigan with a 12-pointer, great score, 51 1/4.
How do you know if you're keeping deer on your property? Here's Tony LaPratte talking about shed hunting.
Okay, in one of the episodes we were talking about food and how it affects the deer and everything. It also affects on how many sheds you're going to find. Now, I want to show you some things. Sheds will give you a lot of information about your land and what we need to do to fix it. Now, last year on my property, I found 44 sheds. That's unbelievable with a 23-acre woodlot, and it's only 52 acres total, and we picked up 44 sheds. Now, here's the thing. There's people that will have on their hunting property, they see lots of bucks, but yet they never find sheds. Now, what that's really telling you is that you had good bedding area most likely, you had food for a while, the food left, and now they went someplace else in the late season. They could have been killed by the neighbors or down the road, and their sheds dropped someplace else. Then you have people that find sheds, but during hunting season, they go, Tony, we never see these bucks. That's because these guys usually have tons of food, but no thick bedding area on their property. So during hunting season, their deer ain't in their property. But then when it's February and January, when it's cold and they need to eat, they got a ton of food, the deer move in and they find sheds, but yet when they're hunting, they don't see them. The key is, like my property, is you have lots of bucks moving every day in your stay-in locations. When you're hunting, you just can't believe all the deer you're seeing. And then that early spring, you walk your land and pick up 44 sheds. That is impressive. Now guys, not all sheds are big. I find sheds like this, and I am telling you, anybody that shed hunts knows what I'm saying. This is like finding a morel. It's exciting no matter what the size is, okay? But we're all really looking for something like this. And when you go and see a set of these laying out there like this, when you walk into one of your food plots or your bedding area, you can't get over there fast enough. You're like a little kid again. And this is what we're after. So guys, you got to think about, are you finding sheds? If you're not finding sheds, is it because of food? Is it a food and bedding combination? But there's a reason why you don't find sheds. And you can never be a great hunting property until you have great deer movement, bucks all hunting season, and then pick up sheds. That means you're controlling it.
Tony, when's the best time to look for sheds?
Really, the best time is usually in March. Okay, now you can find some in February, and you may even find some in January. Usually if you find it in January, the buck did a ton of breeding, he could be injured, or he's sick, and he's hurting, so he drops these off. But normally speaking, it's usually in March where we pick up the bulk of the sheds. Now I'd like to show you something that is impressive. This buck, this shed here is from 2000. I called him Limper. He was in the 160s. Now, I got both sides, okay? I killed him the following year. Now, last year, I find this shed. This is Limper's genetics all these years later. This is all the webbing in here. This is definitely the same buck. Look what genetics does. Look what time does. You got to give them a couple of years of age. And can you imagine, this is only a 1.5 year old buck, and he's a perfect 10. I've seen him all the time. Both sides are matched. I only found the one. But both sides, a 1.5 year old 10. And in a couple of years now, he's going to be just like this guy. So guys, sometimes we got to let him go if you want a big buck. And so that's what I'm talking about. Sheds and genetics, food, all these play a factor in a deer management.
Tony, is it good enough just to go get some of the latest gadgets that are out there, or do you really need to make a habitat change to change your hunting environment?
At the deer shows every year, I'm sitting behind a booth and I do seminars, and you guys know that, and I'm talking to people. And I'll see a guy walking by with a bag, and I go, is that your strategy for this year, your new strategy? And he's, yeah, and he opens up the bag and he shows me some $20 gadget. Now, it ain't that the gadget may not work, but if he don't have deer on his property in November because he has no bedding area, the gadget ain't gonna help him. Gadgets and trinkets do not fix the big picture. If you have the big picture right, and you got food, bedding, and you got everything done the right way, you don't need gadgets at all, because the deer want to be underneath your stand. Most gadgets, you're trying to bring a deer to a spot he didn't want to be. Now, he ain't the same animal. He's alert, he's nervous, and he's already all wired up. Guys, it's so much better to set the property up and let the deer naturally come to your stand because it's where he wants to be. That's what we take great pride in doing on a person's property. I'm Tony LaPratt, giving you tips on sheds from Ultimate Land Management and for the Q1 Buck Poll.
Did you know that Tire City is more than just tires? Marshall Tire, Albion Tire, and Charlotte Tire are all more than just tires at great prices. We're your complete auto repair center. We're brakes, oil changes, steering and suspension, diagnostics. We're more than just tires. We're your complete auto repair facility. Tire City, Marshall, Albion, and Charlotte.
Coldwater Gun & Pawn, your concealed weapon headquarters. Buy, sell, trade. We do volume so you have selection with new guns arriving daily. Need ammo at the best prices around? Stop into Coldwater Gun & Pawn. Plus, we pay cash for guns or anything of value, including gold and silver, where we pay the highest prices in southern Michigan. Plus, we have DVDs, guitars, gifts, and more. Long guns or handguns, come see our selection today at Coldwater Gun & Pawn. Add style to your bedroom or living room with log furniture from Thurston's Furniture. One-of-a-kind log bedroom sets, dressers, mirrors, easy beds that convert from a couch to a bed. Specializing in custom orders, Thurston's offers a great selection to choose from. Plus, check out our Northwoods Wildlife Print area rugs. Want a camo recliner? You'll find it at Thurston's. Thurston's Furniture on M60 in Homer. Everything you want in log furnishings at great prices.
Hunters, register today in the Q1 buck pull and you'll have a chance to win this Yamaha Grizzly 350 ATV. You can register a buck or a doe, no matter what size. We'll give this away in a random draw at our final prize party of the Q1 buck pull coming up the first weekend in March. Jim Hull is with us from Custom Connection Motorsports in Battle Creek. Welcome to the buck pull, man.
Thanks for having us, Tim.
All right, tell me about the ATV.
As he said, this is an awesome Yamaha Grizzly 350. You've got your Realtree camo, you've got selectable four-wheel drive, you've got forward and reverse, you've got racks on the front and back. So if you're out in terrain like this and you get the deer of a lifetime, you're not going to have to worry about carrying it on your shoulder.
You slap it on the back, tie it up, and you're ready to go.
Exactly.
All right, well, again, we're giving this away in a random draw. All you have to do is register. Again, you could go online, or you could take your deer to any of the locations across the state. Get registered today in the Q1 buck poll to win the Yamaha Grizzly 350 ATV from Custom Connection Motorsports.
Well, Big Buck, are you going to hit the woods these last 3 days?
Depends.
Depends.
Well, I got lots happening, and the biggest problem is over the holidays like this, we get all this company, and so can Mama let me sneak out the woods one last time to get that?
Please, Mama.
I don't know, Mama.
Please,
let me go.
Mama. Hey, we a true hunter. You got to ask Mama what he could do. How about that?
There you go.
All right. Well, we've got some great shows coming up. Lots of interviews. Next week's show, we've got the Branch Area Career Center, Buck Pull, where Mike works and runs the center, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, even Santa Claus made an appearance during the show, doing some good deeds there at the BACC.
How about that? All right. He's Mike Big Buck Hoffner. I'm Tim Harthaber. Thanks for watching this week's edition of the Q1 Buck Poll. And remember, whenever you're out in the woods, be safe.
Great country for Kalamazoo. Find us on your radio at 102.5, online at greatcountry1025.com, and on your mobile device on iHeartRadio. Kalamazoo's Great Country 1025, powered by Nash.